UFC 325 in Sydney, Australia just took place this past weekend. I'm going to give my reactions and my thoughts on what went down during this card. It was okay. It wasn't too bad. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. There were some decent scraps, but I don't know. It was okay. It could have been worse, could have been much better. The first two fights, call me a casual. Didn't really care, especially the first fight. Didn't really care about, they're no names. You don't really know their skills. Um, yeah, again, call me a casual. Don't really care. That was just kind of. I wasn't even home for that fight. I'm pretty sure I went to walk my dog during that time. So let's move on to the next. Nakamura versus. This was actually a pretty decent scrap. Um, Sebastian, he was bringing it to Nakamura. He's a pretty good fighter. I hope he gets a contract as well and he gets to fight. These were two Road to the UFC contract fights. I'm pretty sure. I think the first three were. But anyways, yeah, it was a pretty good scrap actually. Nakamura ended up getting the win. I'll move on to the next fight. I don't remember this fight, to be completely honest with you. So I'm going to move on from it. Kanofli versus Yiza. I thought this was a bad decision. I thought Kanofli, he was getting hit with some pretty nasty shots. I felt like he got rocked like 5 times. And in my opinion, the only reason why he got this decision is because it's in Australia, so that's literally the only way. Like, he was getting rocked on the feet. This fight was pretty much all on the feet. Yeah, I just felt like he was getting wobbled a lot by shots. But that was a robbery, 1,000%. Those were the early prelims. Okay, that's the effort they gave to us, so that's the effort I'm going to give to you as well. Jonathan Miklev versus Oban Elliott. Again, a good scrap, man. Okay. A good scrap while it lasted. Man, Oban Elliott was doing good. He was doing good, from the jump. Landing good shots. He had pretty good boxing. It seemed like he was taking the fight in his own hands versus Jonathan. And then in the second round, Jonathan gets the fight where he wants it. He gets it to the ground. I don't remember exactly how they even got there, honestly. But yeah, Jonathan got the back, put the rear naked in, and Oban went to sleep. Much respect. He didn't tap. He was fighting the hands, doing what he could do, until he went to sleep. That's all you can do. Either tap or try to get out until you go to sleep. And that's what he did. He went to sleep trying. That's where you get respect, in my opinion. Next fight on the prelims, Jacob Malkoun versus Torres Finney. Now, I know Torres Finney gets a lot of hate, but I'm just gonna come out and say really quick. I felt like he saw like social media comments or something, because he was probably trying to get the fight to the ground. He likes to grind on people on the cage, and that's just kind of his style. It's pretty boring. But this, I don't know if it was because of Jacob, because I know Jacob, they kept saying he was like a former professional boxer or something like that. I don't know if it's because of his footwork and his boxing, but Torres didn't have the opportunity to really try and make it a boring fight. Jacob was just piecing him up, had a beautiful jab, had some beautiful combinations. Torres Finney's got a chin on him. He's a pretty decent fighter. He was throwing hands more than we've ever seen in his fights, but it's just his body shape and just the way his weight is distributed between, like, around his body. he just can't really throw snappy shots like he needs to put people away. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I'm not a fan. A lot of people aren't a fan of Torres Finney, him or his style. But maybe we can see him get some nasty knockouts. Excuse me. All it takes are like one or two nasty knockouts against some old heads or something like that, and he's gonna get some fans behind him. But for now, we got to see what they do with Jacob Malkoun, because he wasn't supposed to come in here and beat Torres Finney, but he did, and he's Australian. He wanted his home country, so that's good for him. Yeah, his boxing looked great though. It looked pretty good, but I'm not sure how he didn't put away Torres Finney. I don't know how you didn't put him away. Like, do you not have enough power? I'm not sure, but yeah. Next fight, Cam Rowston versus Cody Brundage. Great fight as long as it lasted. Cody Brundage, it's not a secret at this point. He's like a gatekeeper, right? But the dude is tough, man. He brings a scrap. Like, you're not walking out of there unscathed. You're not walking out of there feeling like you weren't in a fight. Like, Cody Brundage really gives it to you. Yeah, man, now that I am thinking about it, I'm not even sure how the finishing sequence happened. But the dude, Cam, worked for it, man. He really worked for it. Yeah, I don't know. Cody, like, he looks good on the feet, man. He doesn't look too bad. And especially against a dude like Cam, who's so rangy and just such a sniper. Cody, like, he it's almost like he did what he could do, with all the skills and the his athletic abilities. He kind of does what he can do. If it's enough, then he wins. If it's not enough, he doesn't win. Obviously, that's how every fight goes. But Cam Rowston, we'll see how far he gets. I'm not a huge fan of him. I mean, he's an entertaining fighter, but I don't know. He tries to have a good, loud personality, which is cool. I guess that's what the sport needs. We'll see just how far he goes. But, yeah. Next fight, trash, complete trash. Junior Tafa, he hurt Billy at one point. He hurt him with the right hand at one point, had him on shaky legs, but he just couldn't get him out of there. If you get to Junior Tafa's hips, you get him to the ground at all, it's just a wraps, man. He just doesn't have the ability to wrestle or anything. So he gets submitted. Again, just not a really, I don't know, a trash fight. This was seriously a trash fight. But we're going to move on like it didn't happen. And we're going to go to the main card. Quinlan Salakield versus Jamie Mullarkey. Pretty decent fight while it lasted. Again, only lasted 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Quinlan got the finish as he was placed here to do. I don't think anyone thought Jamie was going to win. Maybe the most faith people had in Jamie was that maybe he would make it to the second round. I don't know. But yeah, Quinlan gets the first round finish. Not much to say. He's a great fighter, but let's see him move up. It's kind of like, I don't know, this was a weird fight. Like, he knocks out Nazareth, and then he gets a jump down to Jamie Mullarkey. Did they expect him to not win this fight? Like, I don't know what their thinking was really on this. But he got the fight. He got the first round finish as he should have, as a minus 1,200 favorite. Let's move on. I spent too much time on that fight. Completely pointless. I'm excited to see who they put Quinlan against. The lightweight division is one of my favorites, so let's just see who they give him next. Maybe like a Drew Dober, or that would be a pretty sick scrap, him versus Drew Dober. Next fight, Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira. I fell asleep during this fight. I'm not gonna lie. And apparently I wasn't the only one that fell asleep. I guess it was like the first round was okay, and then after the first round, it was just they just got super tired, and basically Taliesin Teixeira got handed a win. That's about as far as he's gonna go. If he struggled with Tai Tuivasa, he's not going in the top 10. I don't see Taliesin Teixeira going in the top 10 anytime soon. But if Tai Tuivasa could do it, I guess Taliesin Teixeira could do it as well. We'll see about that. But yeah, man, not really. I saw a bunch of people talking about it. Saw some clips on it. How exhausted they were. Tai Tuivasa couldn't even get the finish at any point because he was so exhausted. That sucks. We're going to move on. It sucks, man. We're just going to have to accept the fact that the Tai Tuivasa days of him getting the knockouts are just behind us unless they put him against a complete fat can. But, man, it sucks. It really sucks. Those were some fun days of... Remember him knocking out Greg Hardy. When Tai Tuivasa is not tired, man, when he's got some juice, he can throw some leather. But when he's tired, it's pointless. Next fight, Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Hufi. Man, who saw this coming? I'm sure there's a lot of people who picked Hufi by knockout. His back wasn't against a wall, but he's coming off a huge fraud check against BSD. He lost, got submitted on the ground. Man, like I could see this coming. Fiziev has been finished before. But like I just thought Fiziev is he's too durable, man. His Muay Thai is just so good. I did not see this coming, but Mauricio Hufi in the second round, he landed like a long right hand. Man, I can just picture it in my head. Long right hand. It like went through Fiziev's jaw. Like it went through his jaw, and Fiziev he was wobbled, man. His legs wanted to give out. He kind of, if I remember correctly, he kind of like turned around and he tried to find the center of the cage, tried to find his feet back. Hufi found the shots, man, put him away. Yeah. Hufi needed that, though, let's be honest. Mauricio Hufi needed that. We'll see who they give him next. Man. Lightweight division is it's something, man. There's some really fun fighters. When Hufi's number 14, probably going to be, top 10 now. When Hufi's in the top 10, and the higher he's number 10, that division is amazing because heavyweight Tuivasa was ranked higher than Hufi was. That just shows you, and the skill difference is just, oh my gosh, man. If Hufi could pack on another 100 pounds and perform the same way against Tai Tuivasa, it would be just insanely different, just so much different. But yeah, congrats to Hufi. Let's see who they give him next. For Fiziev, I guess Fiziev could just be a gatekeeper, man. It sucks. I love Fiziev, but he could just float, top 10, float right outside the rankings, and just start piecing up these young kids that come in here. Because he was doing fairly well in the first round. He was landing on Hufi, he was landing. I don't know, man. If he just got too comfortable in the pocket, just his hands aren't up enough, who knows what it is, but bad night for Fiziev. Hufi gets it done. He got performance of the night. Extra 100K. Hufi is happy. Next fight, we got the co-main event. Pretty sure. Yeah, this was the co-main event. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I was falling asleep a lot during these last couple fights. I did watch it back. Dan Hooker, man, he is something else with those front kicks, those teep kicks, right in the gut, whips those kicks to your liver. They were getting to BSD. They were absolutely getting to BSD. But what is that going to make BSD do? That is going to make BSD hunker down, and he's just going to put the pressure on even more. And we saw against Arnold Allen, when Dan Hooker's on under so much pressure, it's just only one person can take so much. And that's pretty much what happened here. Dan Hooker did well in the first round, landed body shots, getting to BSD. But in the second round, you know, Hooker, I don't know, BSG is just, it's the pressure. That's just all we can say. It's the pressure. He just comes forward, man. And if you're not going to put him away, he's just going to run right through it. And he's eventually going to get to you. And that's exactly what happened in this fight. BSD gets it done by ground and pound in the second round. 4 minutes, 45 seconds. They stopped it pretty late. Dan Hooker was getting elbows and everything you can imagine to the face. BSD was landing some nasty, nasty ground and pound. It's just insane how long Dan Hooker has been doing this sport versus how long BSD has been doing in this sport. And just, like, I don't want to say the skill difference, but, like, how does BSD look so good so early in his career? I think he started training MMA in 2020. I'm pretty sure that's when he started training in MMA. Dan Hooker was fighting Dustin Poirier, I'm pretty sure, around that time. Maybe he was a little bit before that, but, like, I don't know, man. It's probably just the will of BSD, his physicality, his will. He doesn't have as much wear and tear as Dan Hooker does. So I guess that's kind of the biggest thing that jumps off the page is BSD doesn't have as much wear and tear, but great performance by BSD. I don't know. I feel like that could have got, performance of the night or something like that, fight of the night. I don't know. But BSD did get an extra $25K because if you guys remember, UFC is doing the new performance bonus, or the finish bonuses, excuse me. If you get a submission or a knockout, you get an extra $25K on top of your show money and your win money. So you can potentially leave with 3 paychecks even during your first UFC fight. That's huge. Congrats to BSD. We'll see what they do with Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's, probably just destroy another new kid on the block or something next. We'll see. Maybe they'll give him Paddy Pimblett. Both coming off a loss pretty, close to each other's. They're both going to be banged up. They're both going to heal around the same time. Let's do Dan Hooker versus Paddy Pimblett. They're in the same weight class. They're both in the top 10. Come on, let's see. And main event of the evening, we had Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Man, this just comes to show you how stupid it was to make this rematch. I'm not going to spend that much time on this because it doesn't deserve that much time. Volk did a much better job in the first fight, I will say, as far as, like, the gap. I mean, like, the gap between the skill here was a lot, but I don't know. It was very similar to the first fight. Like, Diego just doesn't have the tools and the skills, the mobility, the knowledge, the IQ to beat Volk. He just doesn't. And it's kind of like, we don't know if Topuria does either. Like, if he has the same skill set. Well, I say that, but, like, it took a skill set for Topuria to beat Volk, right? But it's kind of a different skill set. It took him a certain striking pattern and a certain power to knock out and beat Volk, whereas Diego Lopez needed a different game plan to Topuria, because if Diego Lopez doesn't have the same power as Topuria, then he's going to have to outwork Volk, or he's going to have to get some takedowns in or something, switch something up for that gap to be, to close the gap a little bit. Diego Lopez doesn't have the footwork. He can keep up, like, he can follow you. He's going to try to land those power shots, but Volk is always going to be one step ahead, maybe even 2 steps ahead. So it's just hard to say, you know. Moral of the story is Diego Lopez, he's such a high-level fighter, man. He's going to be in the top 5, top 10, probably for the remainder of his career. He's that good of a fighter. But it's just something about Volk. If you don't have the power of Topuria and you can't land on Volk, it's just extremely difficult to beat him. And he showed that why he's champion. If you're not a Topuria where you have the skill and the power to beat him, you're not going to beat him. Basically, to sum up this fight, it's just Volk, his insane footwork, you know, landing good shots. No crazy shots were landed that no guy was like rocked to the point where they were almost out of there at any point in this fight. I want to say more of that happened in their first meeting. But yeah, the only thing that it's going to take to beat Volk is honestly to knock him out. It's going to take a Lerone Murphy. I think Lerone Murphy has the best chance out of anyone besides Topuria to knock out Volk. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure they're going to give it to the winner of Lerone versus Mavzar. That fight has been booked recently, so we'll see what happens. I hope Volk just retires before then. He's been slept twice. We know he can be slept with one great shot. That's all it takes. Nobody wants to see it a third time. We don't need to see it a third time, but if he wants to do that to pay off his farm, go get it, Volk. We love you, man. Yeah, great performance. Volk is just, he's elite, man. He's elite. He does what he does, and if you're not going to shut him off, he's going to do what he does, and it's just, that's what it is. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to be doing UFC Vegas fight night predictions pretty soon here, so be on the lookout for those. If you guys did enjoy this video, please drop a comment, like, and subscribe to help the channel out. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.